take two. I screwed up on the first one by not having the computer turned on. So here we go. Hey guys, well, welcome. I am so sorry we're not having Apex tonight. I am just as sad when we cancel as you guys are. And so it hurts my heart to have to cancel. I would love to have seen you guys. And I'm particularly excited about some of the announcements that I have coming up. And the announcements I have today have some deadlines to them. And so I was really excited to kind of share with you in person about these things, but unfortunately, just due to weather, we're not going to be able to do that. And so I really hope that I can convey all of this information on here, because I'd love it if literally every one of our students participated in what I'm about to talk about. Now I know that's not realistic, but as many of you as possible. And I would also like for you guys to take advantage of early bird deadlines, and so you can get some discounts and some better rates. But first announcement is actually a really simple one, and it's that there is no Apex next week. This slide was filled with grass and flowers and such, but because of today, I added a snowman. So, happy spring break. We won't see you next week. We'll see you on April 2nd, which is not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. Okay, so now let's talk about what I was actually excited about, and that is that if you remember, every summer we either go, just like Apex, my clicker is not working. There we go. Just like every summer, we do either something that we call Apex Reaches, which is mission trips, or we do something called Apex Adventures, which is a discipleship trip. This summer, we have a discipleship trip coming up, and what that means is we do some kind of adventure together, and we reconnect with each other, we reconnect with God, and we reconnect with His creation. And so this year, I'm really excited to introduce to you our theme of our discipleship trip, our adventure trip, and we are calling that Disconnect, Reconnect. And the whole point of this trip, the whole point of this discipleship experience is for us to disconnect from our worlds, our technologies, our Instagrams, our TikToks, our whatevers, our phones in general, is to disconnect from some of these things that have been distracting us and pulling us away from God's best for us, and reconnect with God, His people, and His creation. And so I'm really excited to show you guys some of the things we're going to be going through together, but particularly, I think it's important we talk about where we're going and what we're doing and what are the dates. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'm going to start with middle school first. So middle schoolers, we are going to be going July 13th through the 18th. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be spending some time up in White Lake, Wisconsin. This is right by Silver Birch Ranch. We're not with Silver Birch Ranch for any of you who are going. We're going to a place called Northwoods Retreat Center, which is actually, it's a ministry owned by Silver Birch Ranch. So the cool thing is we actually get to experience some of the fun things that they have while having our own private campground. That's right. And so while we're there, we're going to be learning about God. We're going to be having a lot of fun with each other, a lot of unhurried fun. So like I said, we're trying to disconnect from all technology and our cell phones and all these things. The whole point is to put those away and not be glued to them. No video games, no anything like that. And instead, we're going to get out into the outdoors, have some fun together. We're going to do some tubing. We're going to be doing some fishing, some hiking, having some campfires, hang out with one another, play some games. Like I said, it's connected to Silver Birch Ranch, and so we're going to be able to do some of the fun things that they have. Whether it's you're not going to be forced to do all of these things, but if you want to do some airsoft, or you want to do, I think there's like a zip line over there and stuff like that, we're going to be able to do some fun things with them, go swimming at Silver Birch Ranch, and go hang out and have a great time together. And just relearn what it means to reconnect with God, to be connected to the vine, and to have those times connecting with God in the quiet moments. And so we'll be there from a Sunday until a Friday, like I said, July 13th through the 18th. The cost is $450. However, you can see with that bright lime green, it's $399 if you sign up by April 2nd. So this is the early bird rate. So you only have 2 weeks to sign up. April 2nd is the night we come back in 2 weeks at Apex. And so you'll have one more night, so I'll remind you that night and say you have till midnight. But the whole goal is if you can sign up within these 2 weeks, you will get a $51 discount rate. And so I'd love to have you there. I'd love all our middle schoolers to be present. A quick note for the parents. I know some of you are concerned and you think, we actually like when they have their cell phones on them because we know where they are. Two things. One, I would say if that is kind of a deal breaker for you, we will have a permission slip that will allow your student to check in once a day with their cell phone. They can check in and say, hey, here's where we're at, or whatever. But we will just be at that White Lake area in that campground for the entirety of the time. And so if you're looking for locations or whatever, I would just encourage you to know that we're just gonna be there. And so if you want, and if that's kind of like a hard line for you, I can give you a permission form where they will get 1 hour, designated hour in the day where they will be able to contact you and connect with you during that like hour space. But the main goal is to disconnect and to get away from our cell phones, from our technology, and to get away from our text messages and the outside world, I guess, I don't know. It's to reconnect with God, reconnect with God's people, and reconnect with his creation. And so there you go. I will be announcing this on Sunday, and I'll be available on Sunday after both services. And so you can come find me, ask questions, and I'd love to tell you some more information about this trip. All right, high schoolers, I know you've been waiting patiently. You want to know what your trip is. So just like middle schoolers, you will be doing the theme of disconnect, reconnect, but it's going to look a little bit different. Your trip, while starting at White Lake, Wisconsin, you are going to be traveling down south through, by the end of this trip, you'll have gone a good chunk of Wisconsin because we're going to end down in southern Wisconsin. Instead of staying at this campground in White Lake, Wisconsin, we're instead going to be partnering with an organization called Expeditions Unlimited. And so we're going to make an adventure trip that's going to start in White Lake, but we're going to do some whitewater rafting up there. We're going to keep going south. We're going to camp, like actual tent camp together, backpacking kind of in that area. We'll be working with Expeditions Unlimited, so they'll bring our stuff for us. We don't have to worry about it getting wet on that whitewater rafting trip. And then we'll get down, start a campground. The next day, we'll move out of that campground and we'll actually travel a little bit down to Baraboo. We'll do some high ropes courses out there. It's gonna be really fun. We're also going to do some like rock climbing type stuff and hanging out, doing an adventure trip down there near Baraboo, Devil's Lake area. We'll eventually camp out there as well, and we will jump in our canoes the next day, and we'll start going further south down the river. And so I think I may have skipped something because it's going to be a Monday to Friday trip, and I think I only said 3 days worth of things. But oh yeah, 2 of those days are going to be the whitewater rafting experience, so that's camping. Then we'll head down, we'll do a high ropes course and climbing for the next day, and then we'll canoe for the next 2 days, actually is what it is. We're going to sleep on a sandbar with our tents and stuff. It's going to be a blast. It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna stretch you from out of your comfort zones a little bit. But don't worry, like if you're afraid of heights or you're afraid of some of those things, a lot of this stuff is gonna be optional. You will be canoeing, you will be whitewater rafting if you're coming with us. But as far as like the rock climbing and stuff, like that is an optional portion. We're gonna have some downtime at that point. But the same idea is gonna be the same is with middle schoolers. We're going to be disconnecting from our phones. And so what I will do is a very similar deal. Parents, I know, again, if you are interested in, you are saying, I like those because they allow me to know where my student is, where my teenager is. We will bring those where we go, but they won't be accessible, with the exception of if you sign a permission form, we can make them accessible for that 1 hour. But I would encourage you to allow your students to disconnect as much as physically possible and to reconnect with God, his environment, his creation, and his people. And so we will have those as an option, but the main idea is to disconnect fully and fully be disconnected from kind of the outside world and reconnect with God. Let me think. Is there anything else I want to tell you guys about that? It's the same cost with the same discount rate. And so you can get that $3.99 price tag as long as you sign up before April 2nd. Both of these, I should mention, you only have to put down a $50 deposit. And that will reserve your spot on this trip. The full price isn't due until 1 week before we depart for the trips. I apologize that I didn't mention that in the middle school one. The reason for that is we will have some fundraisers. I don't know what those are yet. We're still working those out, and we'll have more information as time comes. But just know that there will be some fundraising opportunities. It probably won't cover the entirety of the trip or anything like that. But I expect we have some generous people in our church that help with fundraising opportunities, and so your students will be able to make a good chunk of this cost through fundraisers. This is for current high schoolers all the way up. Seniors, you are welcome to join us on this trip. We're glad to have you along for one more trip in Apex. But other than that, it's just for high schoolers, as the other one is just for middle schoolers. I think that's all I have for you. Again, I will be available after both services, and so if you need to chat with me, come find me after either first or second service, and I'll be glad to give you some more information or answer any questions that you might have. Hoping to talk with you more about this at Apex, but for now, there you go. Really hoping we can disconnect from our devices with you, but reconnect with God with you on this awesome trip. All right, guys, that's all I have. Stay safe on the roads out there, and we'll see you soon. All right.